Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I'm a travel advisor with Marvelous Mouse Travels. And if you have been hanging around my Facebook page or my Instagram account or my YouTube channel for any length of time, then you know that we are in the middle of our Marvelous Madness tournament. In fact, tonight we are here to reveal our final four. And when we were tallying up these totals earlier, a couple of the results were a little bit surprising to me. And so I'm excited to share those with you all tonight. And as always, to help me do that is my better half, my husband, Evan. Hey, babe, thanks for doing this with me again.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. And I don't even work at Chick-fil-A, but it's my pleasure.
All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into it and reveal these final four contestants here. I would say teams, but that's not technically correct here.
So in this top left region, the 1 seed California Grill and the 3 seed Steakhouse 71 made it to the final, or the Elite Eight. And California Grill took down Steakhouse 71, and it was 61% to 39%. So not a blowout by any means, but also not super close either. Both restaurants at Contemporary Resort. So based on this, I think everybody would agree that California Grill is the best restaurant at the Contemporary.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I completely agree with that, because I think you have to take into account all of the things that make a dining experience enjoyable. And that includes the food. Obviously, California Grill has great food. That includes the service. I have always had fantastic service there. That also includes just the general ambiance and atmosphere, and the views from California Grill, particularly if you're there during the fireworks, are just really, really hard to beat. In fact, I would say the only restaurants that come close to beating the views from California Grill would be Topolino's in Toledo, because they're the same type of, up tall in a kind of a high rise hotel. But I love California Grill, have had multiple good experiences there. Can't recommend it highly enough.
Absolutely. Totally agree. So in this bottom left portion of the bracket, the restaurant that'll be facing California Grill in the final four, we had Boma going up against Storybook Dining at Artist Point. So once again, another all resort matchup here. And Storybook Dining won, and it was not close at all, 84% to 16%. Kind of shocking how much of a disparity there was there, but people are loving Storybook Dining, and understandably so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Storybook Dining. I mean, Evan has said multiple times that the best meal that he's ever had at Disney World, he had at Storybook Dining. The food there is fantastic. It's a rare opportunity to meet the Snow White characters, including, Grumpy, Dopey, and the Evil Queen alongside Snow White. So, a villain meet opportunity, side character meet opportunities is, something that's fairly rare at character meals. And I think people love that. And you couple it with the fact that it's got great food, and it's a winner.
Absolutely. So the other two matchups, we'll go to the top right region now. You had Ohana, 5 seed Ohana, going up against Roundup Rodeo Barbecue, 6 seed.
Mm-hmm.
So none of the top 4 seeds in this region made it all the way to the Elite Eight.
Yep.
And the winner, in a shocking turn of events, Roundup Rodeo Barbecue takes down Ohana 57% to 43%.
Yep.
Very close matchup.
Very close. Very close. In fact, on one of my platforms, it was a 50-50 split between these two. And on the other, there was a more of a lead for Roundup Rodeo. And so that was what ended up making the difference. But, Ohana won the last time we did a restaurant style Marvelous Madness tournament. Ohana won everything. It beat out every restaurant on property. And so to see it lose here in the Elite Eight, I was surprised to see.
Well, last time we were doing this, Roundup Rodeo Barbecue wasn't in existence yet. So
it wasn't. It wasn't.
Makes you wonder if Roundup Rodeo is going to take it the distance here.
It does make you wonder, because it's the only restaurant that's ever knocked Ohana out of anything on any tournament we've ever done. So, and I said, if you'll remember, when we were revealing the Elite Eight, I said that I thought if there was a restaurant that had a chance of taking down Ohana, it was this one, and it ended up.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
You nailed it. So the last matchup in the Elite Eight was Beaches and Cream, a 5-seed Beaches and Cream, going up against 2-seed Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace won that one 65% to 35%. So not super close on that one either. A lot of love for Crystal Palace here.
Yeah. I honestly think it's those Pooh characters. They're just so much fun. They're so cute. And it does have really good food. It's got a great location right on Main Street. In fact, pretty easily, Crystal Palace is my favorite table service restaurant in Magic Kingdom. I actually think Magic Kingdom might be the weakest park overall for table service restaurants. There aren't a ton of great options in Magic Kingdom, that offer really spectacular food. But Crystal Palace does have a ton of options. There's a lot of variety, good choices for adults and kids alike. And the food's always been good quality as well. And they do a really good job of keeping it fresh out on the buffet. So you're not eating day old chicken fingers. Everything's nice and fresh and freshly prepared.
So as you look at the Final Four, we have a resort matchup and a park matchup. So on the left-hand side of that Final Four, you've got California Grill at the Contemporary Resort going up against Storybook Dining and Artist Point, which is at Wilderness Lodge. So 2 Magic Kingdom Resort area restaurants there.
Yep.
And then you've got on the opposite side, Roundup Rodeo Barbecue, which is located in Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios, going up against Crystal Palace, which is right off Main Street, USA, in Magic Kingdom. So 3 of the 4 are either in Magic Kingdom or in Magic Kingdom area resorts.
Yep.
That's impressive.
It is.
So as you look at these 2 matchups, and I'll let you give your take, and then I'm going to,
sure,
you don't get to vote, but I get to vote. And so I'm going to let you say your take, and then I'm going to tell you who I'm voting for.
Well, I do think it's interesting that it worked out being the resorts versus the parks. We obviously didn't plan that because we couldn't have known which way this was going to go. And so I would tend to think that the resort matchup is going to be very close, but I think that California Grill might just pull it out. And in terms of Crystal Palace versus Roundup Rodeo, I do think that Roundup Rodeo will win that matchup, and I don't think it will be that close. I think that it will be a fairly commanding victory. So I think heading into the championship, we're going to have California Grill going up against Roundup Rodeo Barbecue.
It also is interesting. In each matchup, there's 1 character meal and 1 non-character meal.
That's true. It's a good point.
Now, interestingly enough, I love character meals. I think it's fantastic. They're so much fun. But when I look at these 2 matchups, the first one, California Grill, is Storybook Dining. So I've said this every time we've had a live show during this tournament. I had the best meal I've ever eaten in my life at Storybook Dining. But if I have to pick between there and California Grill for best table service restaurant, I mean, it is extremely close. Let me say that. It is extremely close. And if I'm thinking about as a family, then I am going to say Storybook Dining because they do have the characters.
They do.
It's a whole experience, man. Like that's just incredible. And maybe it's just sentimental reasons because we were there on our 15th anniversary, but it is really hard to beat California Grill, particularly when you can sit there and watch the fireworks or go out on the balcony and see the fireworks at Magic Kingdom. Yeah. And if you missed it, if you just joined us, here are some views of what I'm referring to. So in this photo right here, you can see in the back middle between us, you can see Cinderella's castle back there. And then in this photo, you can see, there's Space Mountain, Cinderella's castle, and the fireworks going all over the place. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And so it is hard to pick against California Grill, but man, if there was one place that could do it, in my opinion, it would be Storybook Dining. Like these might honestly be my 2 tops. Like if they were on opposite sides of the bracket, I think they would face each other in championship.
Yeah, I agree.
On the other side, You got Roundup Rodeo Barbecue and Crystal Palace. So
Mhm.
Crystal Palace is a character meal, but Roundup Rodeo Barbecue, you get like all the meats. uh,
It's true.
you get all the barbecue you could hope for.
Yep.
The theming is incredibly immersive.
It
You
really
could
is.
make the case that it is the most themed restaurant in all of Disney World.
Yeah, and Toy Story Land as a whole is very elaborately themed. If you've never gotten the chance to see it, it's totally worth going to see it because you are, I mean, you really feel immersed. And you like the here, this is the entrance right here, and Woody talks as you're walking in. It's amazing. But you really like even the bathrooms are themed in this area, like really, really every little detail. And so the restaurant is right on par with that. And it fits perfectly into the theming of Toy Story Land. So, even though it's
You,
not a character meal, I feel like you get almost that same level of immersive theming
I agree.
experience at this restaurant.
You know what it reminds me of?
So,
The interior reminds me of the queue for Toy Story Mania.
very much so. Very much so. And that queue is amazing because everywhere you look, there's something to see. Like there's some little Easter egg or something like that. It's just really incredibly well done. It's Disney Imagineering kind of at its best.
So, I mean, honestly, if I'm voting, shockingly, I'm going to, man, it's really hard not to
It's
pick
hard.
Storybook Dining.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. But I think I'm going to go California Grill and Roundup Rodeo Barbecue. I wish I could pick California Grill and Storybook Dining, but I
Yeah.
can't. So,
Yeah.
um,
And
it's like 1A and 1B for me.
right, I agree. And I think it's just the type of experience that you're looking for. Are you looking for
Yeah,
something that's a
totally.
little bit more sophisticated, and not unfriendly to kids? Because there's really not restaurants at Disney World that are unfriendly to kids. I just released a reel about that a couple days ago, actually. But I think that California Grill is maybe a little bit more sophisticated, and it might cater more to adults, even though kids can definitely still be comfortable there. Whereas Storybook Dining is more that people of all ages, it's for kids and adults together. So it just depends on what you're looking for, I think, between those two. But you
Yeah,
can't
I
go
don't know,
wrong.
man.
You can't
The
go
more I
wrong
think
either way.
about it, the more I'm leaning towards Storybook Dining. This is really difficult.
I know.
That's the toughest one so far. Easily the toughest matchup that for me at least, that
Yeah,
we've had so far.
for sure.
So, Jen,
And
what's the game plan? When are we going to vote on these, and when are we going to go
yes.
live again?
So we will be voting on these tomorrow, which is Friday, and then we will be revealing the championship matchup live on Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern as well. So that's standard. It's always 8 p.m. Eastern whenever we're live. So our next time together will be Saturday night. Yeah.
If there was one that we might be a little bit late on, it might be Saturday
It
night
might be.
because we have a wedding to be at.
We do. We do.
And we will be pushing it to get home by 8 o'clock, but we're
Yeah.
going to try. So it
Yeah.
might be 8:30. I
It
don't know,
might
but
be.
we'll see.
Yeah, it might be
We
8:30.
will
And
keep you
if
posted.
exactly, if we find that we think we might be getting towards 8:30, we'll definitely make a post on Facebook and Instagram and on YouTube letting people know that we're going to be a little bit later than we plan to. But if everything goes well and we don't hit traffic and all the things, then we should be back by
Yeah,
8
because the
p.m.
wedding's an hour away,
Yeah,
so we're going to be coming in on two wheels trying to. I mean, we will
that's right.
drive the speed limit, and
For
we
sure.
will be here when when that happens.
For sure. It's for a sweet coworker of Evan's, though, so we wouldn't miss it for the world. But thank you all so much for watching with us. We really, really appreciate it. It's always so much fun every year. We look forward to doing this every March. And so we will be back with you between 8 and 9 on Saturday night live to reveal our championship matchup, which will go live for voting in my stories tomorrow. So hope you all have a great night. Thanks so much for watching.
Have a great evening, everybody.